Yes, it was strong winds, strong storms. It was heavy rain at times.
They woke me up. It made for difficult driving for a lot of folks. This video showing what it was like on I-35E northbound out of Duncanville around 11 p.m. The rain made it very difficult to see, and drivers were going well below the speed limit for the most part. Other drivers were pulling over and turning on their caution lights just to wait out those storms. The winds were extremely strong when the storms hit Weatherford in Parker County. This is video from storm chaser Aaron Estman. Just after 11 p.m., wind gusts of 80 miles an hour were recorded in that area. And those strong winds also uprooted trees. Viewer Russell Lawrence sent us these images of a very large tree. Wow, you see it right there. Boy, uprooted south of Weatherford. The storms knocked out power to tens of thousands of customers in our area. And at last word, more than 46,000 homes and businesses in our area were without power. Okay, Evan, the storms are gone, but they're going to make a comeback?
It was interesting that you said the storms woke you up because a lot of people didn't get woken up by the storms. They got woken up by either their phones or the sirens. And that brings up an interesting issue because your phones get triggered when there's a warning for at least 80-mile-per-hour winds. So if your county was under the warning, you saw that warning come over your phone. Now, the sirens are done by the emergency managers. They usually will choose to do it with winds of 70 miles per hour. So it doesn't have to be a tornado. So if the phone didn't get you, the sirens got you, and other than that, the lightning and the rain could have gotten you. What we're looking at this morning is everything moving out. That complex blew through overnight, was pretty much done with us by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and now we're just left with a little rain down by Palestine and south of Stephenville by Comanche. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's all quiet. I'll eventually just taper that rain down south and take it out of the forecast. Today, nothing through the afternoon hours unless you live southwest. However, tonight there will be new rain and storms that come in overnight, but it's going to be after 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, primarily for western and southwestern areas. 71 degrees this morning as we dry out. I think the clouds will break enough to give us temperatures in the 80s today. Just a low chance for a shower in our southwestern counties. That would be like Glen Rose or Stephenville, maybe down by Walnut Springs and Hyco. So our forecast is kind of weird this week. It's not unusual to get rain and cooler temperatures in June, but it's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
So we got more of it coming, Chip.
Gotcha. Right now, we've had plenty happen already on the roadways, and I guess the good news is the fact that we don't have any new incidents. So here's all of the challenges that we have to deal with. 2 of the 3 incidents are on I-30. So one on I-30 is one moves from Rockwall to Rowlett in the left lane, and the emergency crews still haven't made it to the scene yet. There are the 2 vehicles as we look between the 2 18-wheelers that are getting by in the center lane. Back up there is heavy back to the Fate City line. And then on I-30 as one moves over in the eastbound direction past the interchange of Hampton Road. Nightmare of a drive because you have the 2 left main lanes blocked as well as the express lanes closed back at Cockrell Hill due to a series of crashes that have happened. And the wreckers are in the area loading up some of the vehicles involved in this crash. The big concern is that there was a pickup truck hauling pool supplies in the back of its vehicle, and there's a hazardous spill that's going to have to be addressed as well on the express lane transition into the main lanes through there that's kind of seeped over in those main lanes. So not a good situation in this area. Southbound on 75 Central, we still have some standing water in the left lanes as one moves down past Knox Henderson. And early this morning, it spawned a couple of crashes. So the consistent backup is still heavy through this area coming down from Walnut Hill and Royal Lane. I'd most certainly add about 20 minutes to the drive, continuing toward City Place and the Woodall-Rogers interchange. Brandon, Lauren?
All right, Chip, thanks. Well, those strong winds we were talking about in last night's storms caused a lot of damage in the Fannin County city of Bonham.
Fox Sports' Ticia Muzinga joins us with a look. Ticia?
Good morning, guys. As you can see right behind me, there is significant damage on this Brahms on State Highway 121. If you look right behind me up top right here, you can see that the roof is partially ripped off. And by the way, there's also debris just all around me in the parking lot. We're talking about debris and insulation from the building just all over the parking lot here. But the city of Bonham released a statement this morning saying it activated the outdoor warning system to alert residents of the severe weather. There are no reports of serious injuries, but there is significant storm damage to trees, homes, and businesses. Now, one man we spoke to says he was not surprised to see Brahms in this condition this morning.
This is the second time this restaurant has been devastated by a weather event. So it's not uncommon in this area. Fannin County seems to be a hot spot for storms. We're pretty resilient around here. We make it through.
This Brahms was also damaged in March during another severe storm, and crews are currently working across the city to clear up the mess from the latest storm. Residents are being asked to stay home in the meantime, and they can expect temporary roadblocks throughout the city as crews clean up this mess here. But I've seen a lot of people try to come to this Brahms because it usually does open at 6 a.m. for breakfast and all of that, but they are closed. And I did speak to an employee, and so for the residents out there that really do want to come, they do plan to open later today, but they're not open right now. So they're gonna, if you try to come, they're gonna send you back, but they are hoping to be open later today. Back to you guys.
Yeah, got some cleanup to do first. Thanks, Ticia. Well, those storms also causing flash flooding, especially near White Rock Lake in Dallas.
Yeah, Peyton May live there with the story. Good morning.
Good morning, Brandon. Yes, thankfully the situation here is getting a lot better. This road behind me was completely flooded over when we got here a few hours ago. Now you could see the roadway, so thankfully it looks like the water levels are receding a lot. But that flash flooding started at around 11 p.m. when some of those storms started ramping up. Now, some areas around North Texas had accumulation between 1 and 4 inches. Some areas across DFW saw 60 to 80 mile-per-hour winds, leaving some waking up without power. There's a couple damage reports, trees down in Knox Henderson, and a ton of flooding in the Turtle Creek area. There was chaos on the roads near Dallas Love Field Airport. Rain caused flooding as water covered the northbound lanes of Lemon Avenue around midnight. Some people drove through the water while others decided to turn around and head the wrong way. You could see the water caused some wrecks, with a car reversing to avoid the water and actually backing into another vehicle. Fox 4 viewers sent in some video of the overnight storms as well. Take a look at this lightning. It's lighting up the sky east of Fort Worth. Thank you to Valerie Lopez for sending this in. She caught the lightning strikes at the perfect moment. Now, again, the situation is getting so much better here. We've seen cars go across this street, one actually going behind me, as you can see right here. The roadway seems to be predominantly clear. I will say that there is some ponding on the side roads. We haven't seen any other damage in this area of White Rock Lake neighborhood, but again, just the flooding is kind of starting to clear up just within the last 30-45 minutes. Back to you.
All right, Peyton, thanks. Just a reminder, you can find live radar in the Fox 4 weather app. You'll definitely want to need have the WAP handy this week. You'll need it. The WAP gives you information on watches and warnings, and you just scan that QR code there on the screen. It's free.
A former Dallas Cowboy and current XFL player for the D.C. Defenders has been arrested, accused of driving drunk and causing a crash that killed a woman on a motorcycle. 25-year-old Kelvin Joseph Jr. turned himself into Richardson police early this morning, and according to the jail's website, he is still being held and his bond has not been set.
It was just before 5 Saturday morning when Richardson police responded to a motorcycle crash here in the 2400 block of North Central Expressway. Cops say the person riding the motorcycle, 27-year-old Cody Morris of Plano, was killed. More than 40 minutes later, police say they received a call from Kelvin Joseph Jr., who told them he'd been in the crash. Detectives ultimately determined Joseph and his BMW sedan were involved in a collision with the motorcycle. According to arresting officers, Joseph, quote, showed signs of intoxication. He has been charged with driving while intoxicated and collision involving death. Kelvin Joseph was drafted out of Kentucky by the Dallas Cowboys in the second round of the 2021 draft. In 2023, the cornerback went on to play with the Miami Dolphins. In 2022, he was featured on Fox 4's Trackdown following a deadly shooting outside a club on Lower Greenville Avenue. Joseph was in a car with a suspected gunman the night 20-year-old Cameron Ray was murdered. But more than 4 months after the shooting, Joseph was cleared of any wrongdoing. Still in shock, some of the victim's friends didn't want to be on camera Saturday, but did confirm to Fox 4 these videos posted to the victim's social media show Cody Morris living her best life on the back of a bike.
All right, so the Defenders do have a conference championship game tomorrow. Fox 4 reached out to both the team and the league for comment, but nobody got back with us. No lawyer is currently listed for Kelvin Joseph.
President Trump warning California officials not to stand in the way of law and order.
Demonstrations and riots in Los Angeles are entering their 4th day as the White House defends its immigration crackdown and sends in the National Guard. Fox's Doug Luzader has the latest.
Well, this is now a federal versus state battle playing out in California as the president promised to defend federal agents in Los Angeles. Rioters pelted police with everything from fireworks to street signs, pinning them under an underpass for a time. Elsewhere, protesters clashed with federal officers and now hundreds of National Guard troops deployed by President Trump.
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country.
The president on his way to Camp David as city officials blamed him for the unrest over recent immigration crackdowns.
What we're seeing in L.A. is chaos caused by the administration.
L.A.'s mayor lashed out at Trump as the city's police chief described the threats his officers are facing.
They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people.
The California Governor Gavin Newsom took to X, though, to call on the president to back off, writing, "I have formally requested the Trump administration rescind their unlawful deployment of troops in Los Angeles County and return them to my command." The Pentagon has said that Marines could be deployed, with the president saying he will not put up with violent protests.
When they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit.
And the president wrote on Truth Social that the federal government must liberate Los Angeles from what he calls a migrant invasion. In Washington, I'm Doug Luzader for Good Day.
President Trump's travel ban takes effect today.
He is banning travel to the U.S. from 12 countries that the White House says it considers high risk due to terrorist activity. People coming from Afghanistan, Iran, Myanmar, and Haiti can no longer enter America. Several Democratic lawmakers already condemned the ban, calling it racial and religious profiling. 7 other countries, such as Venezuela, Cuba, and Laos, have partial restrictions. Travel ban excludes green card holders, Olympic or World Cup athletes, and Afghan interpreters with special immigrant visas. Cue the sweet baby lullaby music because our station dog Poppy's had her puppies.
All right, check out the cute video. Poppy delivered 6 puppies in just under 3 hours after going into labor. There are 4 females and 2 males. Guide Dogs of Texas says she immediately stepped into her new role and is a loving and caring mother. Poppy will stay in San Antonio for the next 6 weeks to look after her litter.
Nice. Names to come. We'll let you know.
Names to come.
Super, super sweet.